You land at 2 a.m., make one bad call at 10 a.m., and the whole quarter shifts, not because you were unprepared, but because your brain didn't hit deep sleep last night. Welcome to Nomad Life Success, episode 2023. I'm Aria Reyes. Today, we're breaking down the data, systems, and biological protocols behind the Deep Slow Stack, a portable, closed-loop acoustic protocol designed to rebuild slow-wave sleep in a single night after you land in a new bed. Data doesn't care about your jet lag. It only cares whether slow oscillations are present or absent.
Right. And if those slow waves vanish, your decision-making collapses. Structure first, freedom second.
Exactly. The immediate cost is selective loss of slow-wave sleep, SWS, and that knocks out sustained attention, working memory, and the kind of calm executive bandwidth you need for high-stakes calls.
Wait, how fast does that drop?
Within the first night, unfamiliar surfaces, temperature mismatch, and microfragmentation break thalamocortical synchrony. On wearables, you'll see SWS minutes fall, slow-wave amplitude proxy shrink, sleep efficiency dip, and nocturnal HRV wobble downward. Those changes map tightly to poorer morning cognition.
So telemetry is not optional here.
Right. Track SWS minutes, any slow-wave amplitude proxy your device offers, sleep efficiency, REM percent, and nocturnal HRV baseline. If SWS minutes drop 20-30% versus your baseline, you've got a clear operational deficit to address.
Okay, operationally, what goes in the back? People worry about carry-on limits and batteries.
Pack this 3-item survival kit: a validated closed-loop headband or a smartphone app with low-latency earbuds, a reliable wearable for SWS and HRV recording, and a tiny tactile anchor, a thin pillowcase or bandana you can sleep with without thinking. That's the minimum to run the protocol and have usable data.
I still get pushback from folks who want zero extra gear. I'm not sure everyone will accept even that 3-item minimum.
Fair. Prioritize. Telemetry first. You can't improve what you don't measure. Second, comfortable earbuds that work for sleep. Third, the tactile anchor. Everything else is optional. Fix the physical bottlenecks first. Now, the operational sequence in 4 moves. Step 1 is a 45-60-minute pre-sleep anchor routine. Tactile calibration, bring the room into a tight temperature window, and run a 20-minute low-light cue timed to your habitual circadian anchor to maximize sleep pressure.
Right.
For temperature, aim for roughly 16 to 19 degrees Celsius if tolerable. Even a couple degrees can shift SWS amplitude. Tactile calibration is simple. Put your familiar fabric against your cheek or sternum for 5 minutes before lights out. It stabilizes continuity on unfamiliar mattresses.
Got it. And then the closed-loop delivery itself?
Short version. Closed-loop systems detect ongoing slow oscillations in real time and deliver brief, phase-locked pink noise pulses at the upstate of the slow wave.
Which means the system has to be low latency. Otherwise, you're just noise.
Exactly. Low latency and correct phase alignment are non-negotiable. In practice, run stimulation during the first 2 SWS cycles, roughly the first 90 to 120 minutes. Start at vendor minimum amplitude and ensure automatic stop criteria for repeated arousals.
And of course, the classic mistake. People crank the gain to force results.
Right. Overdriving amplitude or stimulating through fragmented sleep increases arousals and lowers sleep efficiency. If you see awakenings, a nocturnal HR spike, or efficiency drops, immediately reduce gain, shorten the session, or stop and rely on the behavioral anchors instead.
From a compliance point, keep firmware current, store session logs, and especially when traveling, keep receipts and check battery rules. Local data export is preferable if you care about control.
Good point. After stimulation, resist the nap impulse. Give yourself a 60 to 90-minute wake buffer with bright light timed to your target time zone. That consolidates circadian signals. Add a short micro-movement routine on wake, 2 minutes brisk walking, 3 minutes paced breathing to boost cerebral perfusion.
That morning subjective log you suggested before is underrated. Numbers alone don't show whether your calls actually improved.
Exactly. 2 quick morning questions. Sustained attention, 1 to 10. Decision confidence, 1 to 10. Pair that with SWS minutes, slow wave proxy amplitude, sleep efficiency, REM percent, and nocturnal HRV for a clean A-B comparison.
One last operational nudge. Export your session and wearable files every test. It speeds troubleshooting with vendors or clinicians.
Quick mitigation checklist. If SWS doesn't improve, lower gain, shorten the stimulation window, strengthen tactile and temperature anchors, and retest with the same anchors. Start conservatively and iterate. You want reproducible gains, not one-off wins.
Structure and records. Simple, effective. The trail is the truth.
That is your high-performance blueprint for today. Tonight, run the protocol once. Baseline if you can, otherwise run the closed-loop session at vendor minimum amplitude during the first 2 SWS cycles. Give yourself a 60-90-minute awake buffer with bright light, and log SWS minutes plus the 2-question cognitive clarity score in the morning. If you want curated portable kits and a printable checklist, build a portable foundation at shop.nomadlifesuccess.com. Treat your biology like your business infrastructure.
Keep records, follow the sequence, and iterate. Compliance is your competitive advantage.
Minimize the friction and stay optimized. Data doesn't care about your jet lag. Fix the physical bottlenecks first. Run the A/B and iterate. We'll be back tomorrow with another tactical stack for Nomad performance.